Alex stepped off the transport shuttle onto the soft, glowing surface of the planet. The air was thin but breathable, tinged with a scent that reminded him of damp forests back on Earth. He adjusted his backpack and glanced around. The research station was a small cluster of silver domes connected by narrow tunnels. Beyond it stretched a dense forest, its trees taller than any Alex had ever seen. Light shimmered in the leaves as if the forest itself were alive. He had been assigned here to help catalog the planet's alien species, especially one rare telepathic race rumored to inhabit the forest. Many humans had tried to study them before, but few had succeeded. Alex had always loved challenges, and this one promised to test both his intellect and patience. He started walking toward the station, scanning the data on his portable device. Every movement, every sound seemed amplified in the quiet stillness of the planet. As he entered the main dome, a soft hum of activity greeted him. Scientists and engineers moved about, busy with monitors and equipment. Alex nodded politely, introducing himself to a few faces. Most were younger than him, eager and slightly anxious about the planet's strange energy. He felt a small thrill of anticipation. This was the kind of work he had always dreamed of. Hours passed quickly as he settled into his quarters, unpacked his supplies, and reviewed the research protocols. By evening, Alex decided to take a walk outside, even though the sky was turning a dark shade of green, unusual for a planet with a sun. The forest called to him with a soft glow, shadows stretching between the towering trunks. As he walked, he noticed movement between the trees, a flash of light, then nothing. A soft voice called from the edge of his mind. "You're thinking again?" Alex froze, his heart skipping a beat. He looked around. No one was there. Only the forest, humming quietly, alive with soft sounds. "Who's there?" he whispered. A giggle answered him, melodic and light. He blinked. Between two massive trunks stood a girl. She was smaller than any human child, but her features were delicate and her skin shimmered with faint silver patterns that seemed to change when she moved. Her eyes were large, golden, and curious. She smiled at him, a gentle, knowing smile. Alex opened his mouth, but words failed him. Somehow she had appeared without a sound, without a movement he could detect. And somehow she knew what he was thinking. I didn't mean to intrude," Alex said finally, stepping forward cautiously. The girl tilted her head, her smile widening slightly. "You don't need to hide. I see what you think." Alex's stomach twisted. He had never believed in telepathy. He had read about it in old reports, dismissed it as exaggeration. And yet here she was, confirming everything he had always doubted. "My name is Alex," he said, finding his voice. I'm a human. I work at the station." The girl nodded as if she had already known. "I am Lyra." She spoke softly, almost like the wind itself. "You think many things. Some are small, some are heavy," Alex swallowed. He didn't know how to respond. The thought of someone seeing his private fears, his doubts, even his darker thoughts made him uneasy. Yet the warmth in her smile eased the tension slightly. I don't know if I should be thinking out loud," he said. "Or maybe I shouldn't be thinking at all." Lyra laughed again, soft and musical. "You can think. I only watch. Sometimes I smile because your thoughts are curious." Alex felt a strange comfort in that word. He realized he had been afraid that someone would judge him, afraid that sharing his mind would make him weak. And yet, here was someone, not human, who seemed to understand without judgment. They spent the next hour walking along the forest edge, Alex talking quietly, testing the boundaries. He found himself speaking aloud thoughts he had never shared with anyone. His fears about the mission, his longing for connection, his frustration at feeling out of place among brilliant scientists who seemed more confident. Lyra listened, smiled, and occasionally hummed, as if affirming his thoughts. "You think too much," she said gently at one point, tilting her head. "But that is good. Thinking can help you see." Alex laughed softly. "Maybe, but it also makes me worry." Lyra nodded. "Worry is normal. Even when thoughts are dark, they can be useful. They tell you what you care about." Her words struck him. Dark thoughts had always been a source of shame for him, a secret he kept locked away. But hearing her speak of them without fear or judgment made him feel lighter, as if some invisible weight had lifted from his shoulders. As night fell, the forest glowed with bioluminescent plants. Tiny lights floated in the air, moving like fireflies. Alex realized he could feel the rhythm of the forest, the energy pulsing through every leaf and branch. Lyra's presence seemed part of it, an extension of the planet itself. "You are not like the others," Alex said finally, gazing at her. You understand things humans do not." Lyra smiled, stepping closer. "Humans are new to this planet. You see only parts. I see more. I watch, I smile. That is all." Alex felt a shiver of wonder. He realized he had never met anyone like her. Not human, not alien. There was a purity in her presence, a sense of connection that transcended species. And yet he felt a cautious excitement. He wanted to know more, but he also feared that knowing too much too quickly might break something delicate. Over the next few days, Alex continued his work at the station, but his mind often wandered to the forest. He would catch glimpses of Lyra at the edges of his vision, just a flash of silver skin, a hint of golden eyes. Sometimes he would feel her presence without seeing her, as if she were reading his thoughts from afar. It made him both anxious and strangely happy. One afternoon, while examining samples near the forest edge, Alex felt the familiar hum in his mind, the presence of someone else. Lyra appeared silently beside him. She tilted her head, observing the samples with him. "You think they are simple?" she said. "But there is more here than you see." Alex nodded, realizing she was right. He had been focused on data, measurements, and numbers. But Lyra reminded him to see the bigger picture, to notice patterns, connections, and the subtle life that threaded through the planet. I want to understand more," Alex admitted. "Not just the samples, but everything here." Lyra's smile deepened. "Then you will. Step carefully, think clearly, and do not hide. That is all." In that moment, Alex felt a spark of determination. He was not alone. There was someone who could see him, understand him, and walk beside him in this strange world. He realized that perhaps this planet was not just a place of research, but a place of growth. A place where he could discover more than science, he could discover himself. As evening fell again, Lyra lingered at the edge of the forest, her eyes catching the last light of the setting sun. She smiled at him one last time before slipping back into the shadows, leaving Alex with a sense of wonder and anticipation. He knew this was only the beginning. The forest was alive, the planet pulsing with energy, and somewhere within it, a girl who smiled at his thoughts, even the dark ones. Alex felt a strange peace, knowing that tomorrow would bring new discoveries, not just of the alien species he had come to study, but of the bond forming between him and Lyra. And for the first time in a long while, Alex looked forward to thinking and to being understood. The next morning, Alex woke to the soft hum of the station. The air outside was cooler, tinged with a faint metallic scent carried by the wind. He dressed quickly, eager to return to the forest. His mind had not stopped thinking about Lyra since the previous day. There was something magnetic about her presence, something that pulled him toward the forest even when logic and protocol warned him to stay at the station. As he stepped outside, the glow of the bioluminescent plants greeted him. Even in daylight, they shimmered faintly, casting strange patterns on the ground. Alex felt a thrill run through him. The forest was alive, more alive than anything he had ever studied. Every leaf seemed to hum with energy. Every tree radiated a quiet strength. He moved carefully, scanning the forest floor and the low-hanging branches for any sign of movement. The forest seemed to watch him as he walked, and he felt a strange sense of expectation, as if it knew he was coming. A soft voice entered his mind before he could speak aloud. "You are thinking about yesterday." Alex froze and glanced around. He did not see her at first. Then between two massive silver-trunked trees she appeared. Lyra's golden eyes shone in the filtered sunlight, and her small smile was calm and knowing. "I am," Alex admitted. I keep thinking about everything. About this planet, about you, about what it all means." Lyra tilted her head. "Thoughts can guide you. They can also confuse you, but I like to watch them." Alex smiled faintly. He realized that he had become dependent on her presence more quickly than he expected. She was like a guide, a mirror, and a companion all in one. Her attention made him feel seen in a way he had never experienced before. They walked deeper into the forest. Alex carried his portable scanner, though he barely looked at it. The trees and plants were fascinating, but his attention kept drifting to Lyra. Every so often he would glance at her patterns of silver on her skin. They shimmered and shifted, responding to her movements and emotions. It was beautiful, mesmerizing and somehow calming. You can see thoughts like shadows, Alex said carefully, testing the boundaries of their connection. I wonder, do you see everything? Lyra's smile widened. Not everything. Only what is strong enough to reach me. Some thoughts hide well. Some thoughts want to be seen. Alex felt a strange warmth at her words. His darkest thoughts, those he usually kept buried, felt lighter because she did not judge them. She understood them as part of him, not as a flaw or weakness. They reached a clearing where the sunlight shone in patterns through the high canopy. Small creatures, almost invisible, darted in and out of the shadows. Lyra crouched beside a glowing plant and touched its petals. Light spread from her fingers, making the plant shimmer even brighter. This is part of the forest, she said softly. It responds to energy. It responds to thought. You can feel it if you try. Alex knelt beside her, placing his hands near the plant. At first he felt nothing. Then a faint pulse like a heartbeat moved through his fingers. He gasped. Energy flowed from the forest into him and back again. He realized that the planet was alive in a way humans rarely experienced. It was aware, sensitive, and connected, and Lyra was part of that connection. You feel it, Lyra said with a small nod. It listens. It knows. Alex tried to concentrate, letting his thoughts drift toward curiosity, wonder, and even his fears. The plant glowed brighter, pulsing with his emotions. He could feel the energy of the forest stretching out, brushing against him, learning him, responding to him. This is incredible, Alex whispered. I've never felt anything like this. It's alive and it's communicating? Lyra smiled. Yes, the forest is patient. It waits for those who listen. You listen well. For hours, Alex and Lyra explored the clearing. He noted every movement, every pulse of energy, and tried to connect more deeply with the forest. Lyra guided him silently, encouraging him to trust his senses and his mind. Occasionally, she would tilt her head or hum, and Alex felt a sudden understanding of what she meant. As the sun climbed higher, Alex realized he had been lost in thought and lost in connection for hours. He had not even noticed the time passing. Suddenly, the forest shifted. A ripple of unease moved through the trees. Alex stiffened. He sensed movement. Not like the soft, curious movements of the creatures before, but something deliberate, observing, calculating. He looked at Lyra. Her golden eyes were serious, and her patterns of silver had darkened slightly. They watch, she said softly. Not all who come here are friendly. Alex felt a shiver run through him. He realized she was speaking of something beyond human comprehension. Who? He asked. Lyra did not answer immediately. Instead, she raised her hands slightly, palms open. A faint wave of energy pulsed from her, and the forest seemed to react. The subtle tension eased slightly. They are from the sky, she said finally. Others come. They seek to take. They do not understand. They do not feel. Alex's heart sank. The planet's peace, its beauty, and the fragile connection he was forming with Lyra were threatened. He clenched his fists, determination rising within him. We can stop them, he said. We can find a way. Lyra nodded slowly. We will, but you must learn more. You must see not just with eyes, but with mind. Only then can you help. Alex swallowed and nodded. He realized that this planet and Lyra were teaching him more than science. They were teaching him awareness, patience, and trust, and he would need all of it if he wanted to protect this fragile harmony. Over the next days, Alex spent nearly every waking moment in the forest with Lyra. He learned to feel the energy of the plants, the pulse of the trees, and even the subtle movements of the creatures. Lyra guided him through exercises of thought and awareness, helping him strengthen the connection between his mind and the world around him. One afternoon, while they were walking near a sparkling stream, Alex paused. Lyra, how do you know my thoughts so easily? Lyra smiled softly. I do not know all. Only what is strong. Only what reaches me. Your thoughts reach me because they are honest. You do not hide them from yourself. You do not hide them from the forest. Alex felt a strange pride. He had never realized that simply thinking, simply feeling could create such understanding. It was more than communication. It was connection. As they reached the edge of the stream, Lyra knelt and touched the water. Ripples spread out and Alex felt the energy moving through him once more. The forest, the water, the trees, they respond. They are alive because we are alive, she said. Everything connects. Everything feels. Alex nodded, absorbing every word. He realized that the planet's secrets were not just in its creatures or its plants, but in its energy, its awareness, and its ability to respond. And Lyra was the key to understanding it. By evening, Alex and Lyra returned to the station. He felt exhausted but exhilarated, his mind buzzing with new understanding. The scientists were still busy with their tasks, unaware of the subtle events unfolding in the forest. Alex felt a quiet satisfaction knowing he was discovering something they could not. Before retreating to his quarters, Alex glanced back toward the forest. A soft shimmer in the distance caught his eye. Lyra was there watching him, her smile calm and patient. She seemed to say without words that this was only the beginning, that the connection they shared, and the discoveries yet to come, were just the start of something far greater. That night, Alex lay in his bunk staring at the ceiling. His thoughts kept returning to Lyra, the forest, and the energy that pulsed through everything. He realized he was no longer just a human on a distant planet. He was part of something larger, something alive, and something worth protecting. And he knew deep in his mind that the challenges ahead, whatever they were, would be easier to face because he was not alone. Lyra would be there, smiling at his thoughts, understanding him, guiding him through the unknown. The next day, the station's alarms blared briefly, a soft but urgent signal that something unusual was happening outside. Alex's heart quickened. He had grown accustomed to the forest's calm rhythms, and any disruption felt like a ripple in his own pulse. He grabbed his datapad and hurried toward the observation deck, glancing at the window at the forest beyond. From the deck, he could see faint glimmers in the sky above the planet, unusual shapes moving against the horizon. The hum of energy in the forest had shifted. It felt sharper, more tense. Lyra appeared at his side before he could even think to speak. Her golden eyes scanned the sky, her silver patterns flickering with subtle urgency. "They come," she said simply. Alex swallowed. "Who are they?" "Others," Lyra replied. "They do not belong. They want to take. They will not listen. We must be careful." Alex's mind raced. He had not expected danger so soon. He had imagined peaceful exploration, learning, and connection. He had not imagined the forest, Lyra, and himself would face a threat from beyond the skies. But now he saw the reality. This planet's life, its energy, and its fragile harmony were at risk. "We can prepare," he said firmly. "Tell me what to do." Lyra's smile was faint but reassuring. "We will act together. You must learn to see not just with eyes, but with mind. Only then can we guide others and protect what must not be taken." They moved quickly into the forest. Alex felt a sense of urgency he had not experienced before. The energy around him was different now, tense and alert, as if the forest itself was aware of the approaching threat. Small creatures scurried and hid. The plant's glow brightened and dimmed in irregular patterns like signals. Alex followed Lyra's lead, trying to sense the rhythm of the forest. He had learned over the past days to feel its pulse, to notice the smallest shifts in energy. Now that training became essential. He closed his eyes and focused, letting his mind stretch outward. He could feel the tension in the trees, the quiver of energy from the plants, the quiet watchfulness of the creatures. "They are strong but not patient," Lyra said. "They do not understand the forest. They only see what they want. We must use this." Alex nodded. He understood. The invaders would not have the subtle awareness of the forest, nor the patience to observe and adapt. Their strength alone would not be enough against this living, aware environment and those who understood it. They reached a high ridge overlooking a valley. In the distance, Alex could see shapes descending from the sky, ships sleek and metallic, moving with calculated precision. He could feel the intention behind them: observation, assessment, and an unmistakable drive to take what they wanted. Lyra stepped beside him, her hand brushing his shoulder lightly. "We will not fight with weapons," she said. "We will guide them. We will protect." Alex hesitated, realizing the weight of her words. No weapons, no conventional defense. Only intelligence, coordination, and understanding of the planet itself. He felt a thrill of challenge. This was not just survival. It was a test of human ingenuity and trust in an alien ally. Over the next hours, Alex and Lyra moved through the forest, preparing subtle defenses. Lyra taught him how to use energy pulses to redirect attention, to create illusions of movement, and to guide the invaders away from sensitive areas. Alex discovered that his understanding of machines, sensors, and logic complemented Lyra's telepathic insight. Together they formed a system of protection that combined human ingenuity and alien perception. At one point, they reached a clearing near a river. Lyra paused and looked at Alex. "Your mind is strong. You feel the forest. You can guide them without speaking." Alex took a deep breath and closed his eyes. He concentrated, imagining shapes and pathways, guiding the invaders away from the heart of the forest. He could feel their attention shifting, their movements altering without knowing why. It was astonishing. He realized he could influence them indirectly, using his understanding of patterns and behavior, and Lyra's connection to the environment amplified it. Hours passed in tense coordination. The invaders explored the forest, unaware of the subtle redirection occurring around them. Alex felt the strain of concentration, but also the exhilaration of control and partnership. Lyra moved silently beside him, her presence calming and reinforcing his focus. Finally, the ships began to retreat. Alex and Lyra watched as they rose into the sky, their movements less certain, confused by the forest's defenses and the human-alien coordination. The threat had passed, at least for now. Alex exhaled, feeling relief wash over him. The forest's pulse returned to its normal rhythm, the plants glowing softly again, the creatures emerging from hiding. Lyra turned to him, her smile calm but proud. "You see, you guided them. You helped protect the forest. You helped protect this world." Alex nodded, feeling a mix of pride and humility. He realized that he had been part of something greater than himself. He had relied on knowledge, trust, and intuition. He had worked with Lyra to protect life, using skills that were uniquely human combined with skills that were uniquely alien. As evening fell, they returned to the station. The scientists noticed nothing unusual, unaware of the subtle battle that had occurred. Alex felt a quiet satisfaction in knowing that the forest, the planet, and Lyra's people were safe, at least for now. That night, Alex lay in his bunk, his mind alive with thoughts. He replayed the events of the day, feeling both exhilaration and exhaustion. He realized he had grown in ways he could not have imagined. His connection with Lyra had deepened, and his understanding of the planet had expanded far beyond scientific observation. Lyra appeared at his door quietly. "Do you sleep?" she asked. Alex shook his head. I am thinking about everything, about what happened, about the future." She stepped inside, her presence gentle and calming. "Thinking is good. It helps you learn. It helps you prepare. But rest is also needed. Your mind must be strong to protect what is important." Alex smiled faintly. "I understand, but it is hard to rest when so much is at stake." Lyra nodded. "Yes, but even when you rest, the forest listens. The energy flows. You are part of it now. You are not alone." Her words reassured him. He realized that the forest, Lyra, and even his own thoughts formed a network of awareness and support. He could face challenges because he was not facing them alone. Over the next days, Alex and Lyra continued their exploration and training. They strengthened the subtle defenses of the forest, taught each other new ways to communicate, and deepened the trust that had grown between them. Alex discovered that telepathy, energy manipulation, and intuitive guidance were skills that could be learned and refined. He felt a growing sense of mastery, but also a humbling awareness of the planet's complexity and the responsibilities it carried. One afternoon, as they rested near a glowing pond, Alex asked, "Lyra, do you think they will come back?" Lyra's golden eyes reflected the light of the pond. "Perhaps, but now you know. You have learned. You can protect. We can protect. The forest will help. And so will you. Alex nodded, feeling a sense of determination. He realized that fear could be transformed into action, uncertainty into preparation, and thought into strategy. He had grown not only in skill but in understanding, and he knew that the partnership with Lyra was key to the survival and harmony of the planet. That night, Alex and Lyra watched the stars from the ridge. The sky was clear, filled with distant suns and moving points of light. He felt a sense of connection not only to the planet and its life but to the larger universe. There were challenges ahead, but he knew he could face them with Lyra, the forest, and his own human ingenuity. The bond between them was no longer just curiosity. It was trust, cooperation, and mutual respect. Alex realized that even in the face of unknown threats, the combination of human thought and alien perception could achieve remarkable outcomes. As he finally lay down to rest, Alex felt a calm sense of purpose. The invaders had tested him, the forest had guided him, and Lyra had walked beside him. He understood that the journey was only beginning, but for the first time he felt ready. Ready to explore, to protect, and to grow alongside a world that was alive in ways he had never imagined. And somewhere in the forest, Lyra's golden eyes watched over him, her small smile reassuring him that together they could face whatever the universe sent next. The morning air was crisp and full of energy. Alex woke with a renewed sense of purpose. The forest had been quiet overnight, its glowing plants pulsing gently, signaling calm. Yet Alex knew the peace might be temporary. The invaders could return, and the delicate harmony of the planet required constant attention. He prepared his gear and headed toward the forest, expecting Lyra to be waiting. As he stepped onto the soft, glowing surface, he felt a familiar pull in his mind. The gentle hum of the forest and Lyra's presence intertwined. She appeared between two trees, golden eyes bright, her silver pattern shimmering in the morning light. "You are ready," she said. "Today we learn more and we prepare for what may come." Alex nodded. He had grown more confident in his connection with the forest and with Lyra. He understood now that the forest responded not only to energy, but also to intent. Thoughts, emotions, and focus could guide its reactions. Today, he would test that understanding fully. They moved deeper into the forest than before. Sunlight filtered through the high canopy in sharp shifting patterns, illuminating patches of the forest floor and casting long shadows. Every step Alex took seemed to carry a rhythm, as if the planet itself was aware of his presence. Lyra guided him to a high ridge overlooking a valley where a small settlement of her people lived. Alex had observed the area only from a distance before, but now he and Lyra moved among the energy lines of the forest, reading the subtle cues of flora and fauna alike. "See how the forest flows," Lyra said. "It listens, it guides, it protects. Everything connects. The invaders will not understand this, but you can use it." Alex focused on the energy around him, letting his mind stretch and blend with the forest. He could feel the pulse of every tree, the hum of every plant, and the quiet movement of the creatures. He realized that the forest was like a vast network and he was learning to navigate its currents. Suddenly, a shimmer in the sky caught his attention. Alex's heart raced. The invaders had returned, their ships glinting as they descended. This time they moved faster, more determined, scanning the forest and its inhabitants. "They are cleverer now," Lyra said softly, "but we are ready. You must guide, not fight. Use the forest, your mind, and my help." Alex felt a surge of determination. He had learned much from the previous encounter, and now he could combine human strategy with Lyra's telepathic insight. He focused on shaping the invaders' perceptions, creating illusions of movement, and guiding them toward paths where the forest's energy would naturally confuse them. The invaders landed, moving carefully, scanning the terrain. Alex's heart pounded, but he kept his mind clear. He concentrated on the currents of the forest, imagining patterns, flow, and intent. He could feel the subtle shifts as the invaders responded unknowingly to his guidance. Lyra's presence strengthened his focus, her energy weaving seamlessly with his thoughts. Hours passed in tense coordination. Alex learned to anticipate the invaders' moves before they happened, adjusting the forest's response with subtle pulses of intent. He realized that the invaders relied on logic, observation, and brute force, while he and Lyra had insight, intuition, and connection. At one point, The invaders approached the high ridge. Alex focused, creating a strong pulse of energy that caused shadows to shift, plants to sway, and creatures to dart in ways that misled their sensors. The invaders hesitated, uncertain, then redirected their path without knowing why. Lyra smiled faintly. "You are learning. You are strong. You see not just with eyes but with mind." Alex nodded, feeling a mixture of pride and awe. He had never imagined that his thoughts could shape reality so directly, nor that human ingenuity could complement alien perception so perfectly. He realized that this moment was more than survival. It was a demonstration of humanity's potential to adapt, understand, and collaborate across boundaries. As the day progressed, the invaders' efforts grew increasingly disorganized. The forest, guided by Alex and Lyra, created illusions, distractions, and subtle blockades. The invaders began to retreat, their movements confused and ineffective. Alex felt a thrill of triumph, but he remained cautious. The forest was alive, and any sudden misstep could undo the delicate balance they had maintained. Finally, as the sun began to set, the invaders lifted off, their ships retreating into the horizon. Alex exhaled deeply, feeling the tension drain from his body. The forest relaxed, its glow returning to a calm rhythm. Small creatures emerged, returning to their usual paths, and the air seemed lighter, almost celebratory. Lyra stepped beside him, her eyes reflecting the fading sunlight. "You see now," she said softly. "You helped protect your world, our world, and the forest. Together we are strong." Alex smiled, feeling a deep sense of fulfillment. He realized that he had not just survived the threat, but had actively shaped the outcome through understanding, courage, and partnership. He had become more than a human visitor. He was a guardian, a bridge between species and a part of something greater than himself. As they returned to the station, Alex reflected on everything that had happened. He thought of the invaders, the forest, and Lyra. He realized that humanity's strength was not just in technology or power, but in the ability to think, adapt, and connect with the unknown. Lyra had shown him that intelligence, empathy, and intuition could be as powerful as any weapon. That evening, Alex and Lyra stood on the ridge overlooking the forest, watching the sun sink below the horizon. The sky was painted in shades of gold and green, and the energy of the planet pulsed gently beneath their feet. Alex felt a profound sense of peace. "You have grown," Lyra said. "You understand more than before. You are part of this world now, not just a visitor." Alex nodded. "I feel it. I understand the forest, your people, and you. I feel connected in a way I never expected." Lyra's smile widened. "Connection is the greatest strength. Not power, not weapons, not knowledge alone. Connection. You feel, you understand, you protect." Alex realized she was right. The forest, the invaders, the delicate balance of life on this planet, all were connected through awareness, understanding, and respect. Humanity's potential was revealed not through domination, but through collaboration, observation, and empathy. Over the following weeks, Alex continued his work, but he was changed. He worked alongside Lyra and her people, learning, teaching, and exploring. The forest became a place of discovery and understanding, a bridge between species, and a testament to the value of intellect, courage, and compassion. The bond between Alex and Lyra grew stronger. They communicated not only through words, but through thought, energy, and subtle understanding. He realized that this connection, forged through trust and shared purpose, was one of the most important discoveries of all. One evening, as they walked along a river illuminated by the soft glow of the forest, Alex asked, "Lyra, do you think humans can ever be fully trusted by your people?" Lyra tilted her head, her golden eyes reflecting the starlight. "Trust is built, not given, but you have shown that humans can learn, adapt, and connect. You have helped protect, not destroy. That is the way to trust," Alex smiled. He understood now that humanity's value lay in its choices, actions, and willingness to connect. He had witnessed it firsthand. The power of intellect guided by compassion, the strength of courage tempered by understanding, and the potential of humans to rise to challenges beyond their comprehension. As the stars appeared one by one in the night sky, Alex felt a deep sense of purpose. The forest was alive, Lyra was near, and the planet was safe for now. He knew challenges would come again, but he was ready. Humanity had the ability to meet the unknown with creativity, resilience, and empathy, and in that moment, Alex realized the truth of what he had always sensed. The greatest power of all was the mind. Guided by heart, connected across worlds, species, and energy. He felt that connection with the planet, the forest, and with Lyra, the alien girl who smiled at his thoughts, even the dark ones. He took a deep breath, feeling the energy of the forest flow through him. He understood that the journey was just beginning. But for the first time, he felt certain that humans could not only survive in the unknown, they could thrive, adapt, and protect life guided by intelligence, courage, and empathy. Lyra stepped beside him, her presence warm and reassuring. Alex smiled back, feeling a quiet certainty that together, they could face whatever challenges the universe might bring. The forest pulsed around them, alive and aware, and for the first time, Alex understood the full meaning of being part of something greater. The stars shone above. The forest glowed softly, and Alex felt a profound connection, not only to this alien world, but to humanity's potential to shine brightly, even in the vast, unknown universe. And with Lyra smiling at him, seeing the truth of his mind, he knew that intelligence guided by heart was stronger than any threat, greater than any weapon, and more enduring than any fear.